In the headlines, Environmental Health Department steps up fogging operations as the Ministry of Health confirms a dengue outbreak in the country. Dominican businesses urged to join the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, and policy leaders challenged to support the development of national youth organizations. I'm Kadisha St. with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, the Ministry of Health has confirmed an outbreak of dengue fever in Dominica. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Adrian Deschaussés says the Ministry of Health recorded an increased number of dengue cases during the month of September.
Since the beginning of September, there has been an increase in hospitalization due to dengue. There have been 10 laboratory confirmed cases of dengue by our reference laboratory, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFA. And we have continued to collect samples and sent for confirmation at CAFA. During the period of September 1st to 21st, there have been 45 admissions to the hospital out of 90 suspected dengue cases. 4 of them required, unfortunately, ICU admission. I'm pleased to say, nonetheless, all admission cases were managed and discharged upon improvement. There have been no reported, let me reiterate, there have been no reported deaths from dengue fever at this time, fortunately.
The dengue outbreak has been limited to 3 health districts across the country.
The Ministry of Health and Social Services wishes to announce, based on findings from our epidemiological threshold of Dominica as it relates to dengue fever, we are now at an outbreak of dengue. It is important to note also, thus far the outbreak has been limited to the Roseau, La Plaine, and Cachabou's Health District and their respective catchment areas. Every effort, nonetheless, is being made to stem the further spread to other areas.
Deschaussés says that the ministry has taken the necessary steps to address the dengue outbreak.
The Ministry of Health and Social Services has fully reactivated its National Emergency Dengue Prevention and Control Plan, which strategically focuses on heightened surveillance, comprehensive health education and awareness, source reduction and clinical management of dengue cases, and also brought together its critical stakeholders such as the Primary Healthcare Department, the Health Promotion Unit, Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, local government and National Pest and Termite Control Limited, to work together with the Environmental Health Department to minimize the risk and control the spread of dengue in Dominica.
Meantime, the Environmental Health Department has stepped up its fogging operations in an effort to combat the dengue outbreak. Andrea Louis has that story.
The dengue fever is spread by the adult Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is also responsible for spreading Zika and chikungunya. Increased fogging operations began earlier this month due to the growing number of people who presented with dengue-like symptoms. Chief Environmental Health Officer Tassie Thomas says the department has undertaken a number of other measures to help control and eventually prevent the spread of the dengue fever, including house-to-house visits.
When we inspect, we destroy whatever we can destroy. Those we cannot destroy, we carry mosquito bits with us that we can treat the containers, and we advise homeowners as to how to treat those containers, how to prevent them from breeding mosquitoes. We have partnered with National Pest, because National Pest is the company to which vector control is outsourced. So they do the vector control work of the Ministry of Health per se. So we work in collaboration with them. So they have the team of persons who go from house to house every day to do inspection of their premises.
Abandoned houses also pose a problem, as these too are breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Thomas says the department has stepped up the number of fogging operations in the 3 health districts where there is an increased number of dengue fever cases.
Most people don't have nets on their windows and so on, and during the day, especially now, it is so hot, so you cannot always have the house closed, and you would know the mosquitoes is like the activities start like from dusk, like about 5 o'clock in the evening. So they come in very early and they are hiding and they are waiting until you come in to sleep for them to bite you. So the fogging operation will start from 5 in the evening. What to do with it? We try to knock down as many of the adults as possible, because they are the one capable of transmitting the disease. So if you can knock down the adults, then you have a better chance of controlling the epidemic.
The Chief Environmental Health Officer also has words of advice for the general public.
What I would like to advise the persons out there, the public, use your repellent to prevent mosquitoes from biting you. After 5 o'clock in the evening, if you can use your long sleeve and your long pants. If you are already immunocompromised, meaning that you might be suffering from another illness and so on besides dengue, make sure that you protect yourself. You wear your long sleeve, you wear your repellent, your nets and so on, to prevent mosquitoes from biting you, especially if you live in an area where you have a lot of mosquitoes.
Homeowners are being urged to be mindful of their surroundings and clean out any areas that can hold water and become breeding grounds for the mosquitoes.
In other top stories, Dominican businesses are being encouraged to take advantage of opportunities within the ECSE. Trevor Blake, Managing Director of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, ECSE, is urging nationals to take advantage of the numerous benefits within the organization. He was addressing a Funding for Strategic Growth IPO workshop organized by the DAIC and ECSE on Wednesday.
We have an excellent platform, a platform that is second to none. We invite you to embrace it. We invite you to learn from what we are here to present this afternoon, and for you to go back and internalize what we have presented and make investing a reality, make raising capital a reality, make the platform or utilize the resources that are available to you on the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange.
The workshop, which featured Blake as a facilitator, focused on exploring the option of going public and listing on the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange. Blake shared his hope that more Dominican companies will be involved within the ECSE.
And I hope by the end of the exercise and in the not too distant future, we'll see more companies other than the one that we have listed in Dominica on the exchange. That is a challenge to you. We need to see more companies from Dominica listed on the exchange. we hope at the end of the day, all of you businesses gathered here will be starting the dialogue with us, and we stand ready to discuss with you at any time. We're hoping we wouldn't cover all the ground here, but we're hoping that we could have one-on-one dialogues with you in the future so that we are able to bring your listing on the ECAC, you're using the platform to raise capital, to fruition.
The Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange was established in 2001. In other local developments, policymakers are being urged to lend support to further the development of national youth organizations. Vice Chairperson of the Commonwealth Students Association, St. Lucian Ajani Libon, says the lack of support by policymakers is one of pitfalls of any national youth organization.
Similar to what's evident back home, the National Youth Council is an act of parliament, which means that it stands on its own. And I think something similar is due for Dominica. I think that the NYC here is able to support its affiliates, and then the NYC here has the ability to begin to charter a course for the development of youth within the country. So I think that whenever you have the reluctance to support such a movement from the policymakers, it is the voice of young people to decide what should be.
Dominica is making moves to establish a National Students Association, which Libon believes can work hand in hand with the National Youth Council for effective representation of Dominica's young people.
For students who, of course, do take up a major portion of the demographics here in Dominica, it is essential that we look to, bring out the students' voice and to decide what the students feel about having an organization which represents their best interests. We have trade unions, we have other organizations which represent interests across the island, but I think when we look at students and young people, youth deserve proper representation, and these organizations are more or less a mouthpiece for youth to express how they feel about certain things. So I see it as one of the pitfalls, and I think the NYC plays a key role in deciding exactly how the youth or expressing how the youth feel about such representation.
You're watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
When persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
Helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Welcome back. Stakeholders within the tourism industry are advised to get their house in order to be more profitable in the business. Andrea Louis has that story.
Executive Vice President of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, Kevin Francis, cautioned those in the industry to ensure they are up to date with the current business and tourism trends to see more success come their way.
How many of us here can say they have a proper accounting practices and are reporting on a regular basis? How many of us here have marketing representation on OTAs? Do you use technology in your property management? Why or why not? Are you e-commerce ready? Or have you had a conversation with our Platinum Partners Flow about your business solutions to take you into the new landscape? Members, stakeholders, take time to mind your business. The solutions are not just for the public sector, nor can one entity achieve the impact we want. It's time for us to take control.
Francis also echoed the call to Caribbean governments to take steps to help the hotel industry by addressing the high travel costs within the region.
In June 2018, the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association strongly urged governments in the region to consider carefully the impact of leveling high air travel-related expenses and fees on travel demand as they wrestle with balancing budgets. CEO of the CHTA, Mr. Frank Comito, remarks that while we recognize the challenges facing countries, it is our duty to point out that taxing for additional revenue may have a reverse effect, as tourists may choose not to travel to or within the Caribbean and instead select other destinations because of high costs of our destinations.
The DHTA executive member says the association already has plans in place to grow the number of tourists who come to the island.
In the coming year, DHTA plans to work with our tour operators in order to see a greater engagement from the French West Indies. With Hikefest expanding its reach, working with several local transportation providers, tourism authority, tour operators and members, we will be able to generate the kind of tourism activity that we can all benefit from and grow.
The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association is celebrating 50 years in existence this year. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And Dominica making waves in combating plastic pollution. A recent article by Forbes magazine claimed that Caribbean islands are the biggest plastic polluters per capita in the world. In an exclusive interview with the manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Florian Mitchell, he affirmed that Dominica is tackling this problem, highlighting the recent ban on single-use plastics as one of these critical steps.
Climate resilience is not just building houses. You know, I mean, you look at all your different sectors and what needs to be done to help complement the environment. And one of the pronouncements that the Prime Minister made in 2018-2019 fiscal period was the ban on single-use plastics. And we named a few of the materials mentioned in terms of your straws, in terms of your fork, your cutleries, your spoons, your forks, your plates. And those were single-use items in the food industry. And what the Minister of Finance wanted to achieve is to have a product now that is coming to the island that is more environmental friendly.
Mitchell noted that the government is encouraging the use of recyclable material as it can be repurposed versus plastic, which is deadly to the environment. He, however, noted that the onus is on the public to want to make this change.
You can have laws, you could have bans, but you also need to have a system whereby the general public themselves can participate. So even if we have laws that is restricting the importation of a particular product, for example, PET, we use PET in different applications. I mean, for your water, for your juices, different areas. And in Dominica, we have a system whereby we collect PET material. Understand? So all the PET that we utilize, we have a collection system that would ensure that that material is not disposed of illegally or improperly.
To the returning nationals who will arrive during the independence season, Mitchell had these words of advice.
One of the things that we've noticed is that if you're a Dominican, you think it is okay to litter when you're in Dominica. If you are a Dominican. So if you have any returning national, we would want them to understand that the island is not a dumping ground and that there are receptacles, or ask when you if you're living in a particular community, at least try to find out when is the collection system for that particular community. If you drive along the expanse of Dominica, you'd see there are lots of trees, the planting activities. If you come to the island, engage in planting a tree before you leave. Keep our environment clean, I mean use a bin, but do engage in planting a tree, do engage in keeping the environment clean.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines once again. Environmental Health Department steps up fogging operations as the Ministry of Health confirms a dengue outbreak in the country. Dominican businesses urged to join the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, and policy leaders challenged to support the development of national youth organizations. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Kalisha Sentui. Thanks for watching and join us tomorrow.